This is a broken Galaxy's Edge lightsaber blade that I have acquired, and I am going to take a look at it. The plan is to try to repair it, and if I can't, that's okay. Maybe we can open it up and see why it broke or how it broke. And then I could use this as a source for spare LEDs or maybe source parts, an extra connector on the base here. The parts will not go to waste. So first, let's talk about what's wrong with it. And if we look at the other end, you might start to get an idea. It has been hit or was used to hit something else, and it has left an impression on the tube, and those aren't going to be easy to fix, I don't think. But who knows, maybe we'll just, if the rest of the blade can be fixed, we'll just call that some character. I might have a way to smooth it out a little bit, we'll see. But another issue, I'm going to do that. Do you hear that? There's an LED rattling around up in here. So there's an LED that's come off the blade somewhere. There's a risk that if I plug this in, the leads on that LED rattling around in there could short something out. So I don't think I'm going to power it on. Another reason is if we look at the base here, we can see some signs that things have not gone well for this blade in its past. First is this plate here is sticking a couple millimeters out. It should be flush with the base of this, so perhaps somebody has already been in here to try to repair it and just didn't reassemble this correctly, or some force knocked this out of place, I'm not sure. I can also see some very distinct grooves here, and I'm wondering if they're the same elsewhere. What is causing that? The only thing I can think of is that the blade was put in backwards, and it was forcibly put in backwards and just carved this pattern out of the plastic. You can sort of imagine it, whatever this is up against, it's pushed in as far as it can go, and then you twist, and then it, sort of pushes back out a little bit because it's spring-loaded. Maybe this happened because this pushed out too far. It could never seat properly. I don't know. Point is, before I even think about plugging this in, I want to take this apart. I want to fix this plate so it's flush like it should be. I want to get rid of the rattly LED in there, and also just do a quick visual inspection just to see, is there anything obvious, a wire that's broken, a PCB that's been snapped in half somewhere. So I haven't opened this up. I haven't turned this on. We're going to discover the state of things inside this blade together. In we go. This screw, or this sticker here, I can see has a groove in there already, again hinting at the idea that somebody may have already been in here. Okay, and yep, this has been installed. If we can look, you see there are grooves on either side, and there's sort of a lip to this connector plate here. The lip goes into those grooves there, and that would get it flush with the blade. So somebody was reassembling this and got this wrong. Gonna remove the tube now. Let's see. Whoop! There is the LED, and oh dear. Do I see lifted pads on that? You see how it's almost like a reddish in color, maybe, on the leads of the LED there? Those are lifted copper pads. So that LED probably isn't going to get replaced. Or if it is, we'll have to do some exceptional, take some exceptional or extraordinary measures to fix it. Oh dear. Let me show you. Yeah, that's been absolutely wrecked. Yeah, so this blade is now either going to become a very short blade or just a source of LEDs. Could you fix that? So that means that at the end of this tube should be the other half, and I need some tweezers to get that out. This is unfortunate. There we go. Oh, and there are some more LEDs. Oh, and more LEDs. Yeah, these LEDs have all been just absolutely ripped right off the pads. I mean, look at that. That is, oh, you can see that there's another bend there. Yeah, this looks like a donor blade at this point. I don't see this coming back. This is a 31-inch blade that's got, what is it, 56 LEDs divided by 4 is like, what, 12 LEDs a segment, or 13? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I've essentially lost the last segment of this blade. But it would otherwise still work. So I don't know, maybe I just make a short blade. Let's take a peek in here just to see what the state of things is. Oh, and these solder joints are a point of issue, and look at that. That is definitely flopping around there. These two joints are gone. Or are they? It looks like the solder just came off almost. I think the pads are still there. Let's fix that real quick. And then I'm going to reassemble the blade, and I'm going to see what I can do about these here. I have an idea. We'll see how well it works. Okay, so where are we at? This LED on the tip was not lighting up. I replaced that LED. It is now lighting up. It is part of group 3 or segment 3. None of segment 4 has survived. On the bottom here, I removed and resoldered in place this control board. There are some issues. Some of the pad right there has gone missing, so that is not a great, that's not a mechanical connection very well anymore. And these are all slightly, if it wants to focus, just slightly askew. The board here has tipped that way a little bit, and you can see my fingers are very dry from all the isopropyl alcohol I've been using. These have all been pushed down just a little bit. It's still fine. All the connections are there. And with a multimeter, I ran a diode check, and all the LEDs are lighting up for the first 3 segments. So we're good. And segment 4, which is gone, is here. So, the blade itself, the electronics now look okay. I'm going to quickly reassemble the blade and just test it. And then I'm going to address the damage to the plastic tube itself and see if I can make that look any better. Okay, partially assembled. I have not included the foam core of this blade, so you get to see what the LEDs look like in the blade without the foam core. Just because this is just a quick test. I'm not going to be swinging this around. This is just a functionality test. And the blade is being detected. That's good. Now I'm going to turn off the light here. And the blade lights up fine, except that tip is missing because, of course, segment 4 has been ripped out. So the blade works. The blade is fine. The electronics, I should say, is fine. It's just we're missing segment 4, which if I turn this into a short blade, you know what? That's probably okay. So I am going to do what? I need to address the tube. is the tube, how salvageable is the damage to the tip of the tube. We saw that the LEDs came up to about right here anyway, so, you know, worst case, maybe I remove this and cut here, and then put the new cap on, and I have myself a blade that's, I don't know, I have no idea how long that is. I'll measure it in a minute. Maybe I just have a short blade, and I don't have to worry about repairing this, but I want to try repairing this. So let's get to that. My plan for the damage here is pretty simple. I'm just going to heat up the tube. The LED string, the foam core, all of that has been removed. This white diffuser seems to be possibly glued into the tube. I cannot remove it, so I'm going to leave it alone. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my hot air station here. And I don't know what temperature to go for. Maybe 150 degrees C, and then I can control the temperature further by how far or close I bring the hot air gun to the tube. And my hope is that heat will sort of help the plastic want to go back to the way it was. Sometimes this works, but it may not. Let's find out. Okay, 150 is not really heating it up enough, it seems. I'm going to go up to 200. I may have to go higher. 250. Yeah, 250C seems to be doing something. I don't know how well, but it's definitely helping the blade. I think what's happening, though, is it seems like the external side, the side that I'm heating up, is healing itself. But like the side that's down deep, you know, in the inside, that's not quite there. But I mean, there were 3 bumps. There was a third bump right here, and you can see that's gone. So I'm going to keep at this. 250C. It seems like it needs about 30 seconds per spot. Maybe a little bit more. We'll see how it goes. I'll come back and show you my results. It cleaned up a little bit, but not enough. It's still marked, and I think I held the heat too long, and I've burned a few places here. And that's not a scuff. That, I think the heat did that, whatever that shadow is here, and there's another one here. So I think I went too hot, and it hasn't really healed the blade to a point that I'd be happy with. So that, coupled with the fact that the blade is short already, that I'm missing the 4th segment, I'm going to turn this into a 3-segment blade. I mean, that's really the only way to go here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark this with some tape. I'm going to use a rotary tool, and I'm just going to cut right here, right below where all the stuff begins. And then after I pop that off, I'm going to address getting this off. The plan to get the tip off here is it's glued in place. I'm going to apply some heat to it, just like I was doing down here, and I'm going to grip it with some, what do they call those, channel locks, a big wrench. And I might grab a piece of some kind of rubber or rubber-like material that can, you know, silicone, maybe something chewy, something that I can help get a grip onto the edge here, but also not leave a mark behind, because I'm going to need to grip pretty hard and torque this thing around to break that glue and get it off. I've done it once before, so I know it works. It's just I've only done it once before. So I'm going to get to marking this off. I think the way I'm going to do that is I'm just going to take some tape and try to hopefully get this fairly even, and I can sort of level things out more later. You know what? That's okay. That's good enough. Maybe I'll actually just freehand it slightly above that tape mark. I can file it down to get it a nice even flat surface. I'm not too worried about it. Big steps first. So I'm going to grab a rotary tool. I will cut that off, and then I'll show you what that looks like, and then try to take the cap off. Okay, the cut's complete. It's certainly not perfect, and there's a lot of plastic dust everywhere, but I'm not going to worry about cleaning that up right now. That isn't too bad, but it's still got a little bit of an angle. Again, I'll clean that up more later on. I'm not too worried right now. Here's the top, and now I need to get it off, get the cap off. So these are the big wrench things that I'm talking about, and I just grip it like that. Sort of twist, heat this up, come in, grip, and see where that gets me. I want to use a little bit of this material. I forget what the name of this is. I know it's resistant to temperatures, high temperatures, and I want to, maybe wrap a little bit around the edge there, and then grip it. That way I don't leave a mark when I'm trying to pull it off. I'm going to cut this down to size a little bit more, and then start heating this up, and away we go. There we go. I just cut a small strip, and I'll just sort of wrap it around like that. Come in here and grab it and twist, and hopefully I'll be able to get that cap off. But first we need hot air. Gonna go with 150 on the hot air gun. Just heat this up. Alright. There we go. There's the cap removed. It's like I know what I'm doing. What kind of glue is this? I mean, it comes off with heats, right? So it's got to be some kind of hot melt glue. It's almost good enough as a pressure fit. I mean, you can see I still need to, level that out, but that might just be a pressure fit. The glue might be not necessary. This white inner layer, the diffuser, I really want to get in here and get all this little plastic particle dust from when I cut the thing. I want to get rid of that. And this can, well, probably just going to go in the trash. All right. The diffuser tube is out. I think it's only glued in at the top where this is in place. I think that's what holds this together. And then when I cut it, I think it just sort of jammed a bunch of particles and stuff in, and that it was sort of a little bit of a friction fit. All I had to do to get it out is just push with a bit of force, and it came right out. So good. I can clean the inside of this tube, get all those little plastic particles out, and then I just need to, I mean, really, it looks like just level this off, and we're good to go. Oh, and we should also look at the string of LEDs. And you know what? I don't think I'm going to have to cut anything. That's going to be fine, I think. Yeah. Perfect. So clean up the tube, even this out, apply the cap, and we've got ourselves a custom-ish tiny blade. Awesome. I've trimmed the edge and I've sanded it down. It's somewhat level, not quite, but that's okay. Now I'm going to put the cap in here, and it goes inside the white tube like so, and then if I come down here, if I twist the cap, I can sort of align the white diffuser with this, and that's pretty lined up. Now, I could glue this, but I'm not going to right now. Just going to put this thing together. The foam core here I have already trimmed to length, so all I need to do is put this on top like so. So now I just slide this in like so. And what am I running into here? I think the foam doesn't want to go into the cap is what I'm running into. So maybe I should trim the LED strip just a little bit more. Not the LED strip, the foam core. Maybe about that much. You can see the LED at the end there just sticking out a little bit. Yeah, that LED is very much exposed there, but yeah. I just want to see this in action. It's so ridiculous. There you go. That's what the, you know, on camera it looks like it's fine because it's blowing out the color, but I could probably put some sort of, well, I can maybe wrap this or stuff the extra bit into the tip here to diffuse that light a little bit more. But now I've got a super mini lightsaber. Alright, let's get an official measurement on this thing real quick. This is a 23-inch blade. As for the diffusion on the tip, that ring of foam that I cut off, I cut it in half and I stuck one half this way and the other half that way. And it still looks a little bit weird. I might consider painting the inside of that cap. So I'm not going to glue the cap in place yet. I'm still sort of trying to figure out what the best finish is for this. But yeah, there you go. It's a 23-inch blade, and I'm happy with it. I like the way it came out. Here is the 23-inch blade. It only has 3 segments now, so you can pay special attention to the animation. You'll see that it only has 3 segments that light up. For size comparison, I have here a 31-inch blade, and if I put the two side by side, you can sort of get an idea of what the difference looks like. That is the difference in length between the two, and the difference of the two igniting side by side. I think unless you have another blade directly next to it, you don't really notice that you're missing a whole segment. I mean, it feels and operates just like any other regular saber would. It's just a little smaller is all. Yeah, I like how that came out.